G'day, guys. Welcome to episode 39 of Beyond the Finish Line podcast, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal, and is also Australia's fastest growing running podcast. My name is Matt. I am one half of the dynamic duo that hosts this podcast. I'm a 5 times Ironman ultramarathon runner. I am also founder and head coach at the Performance Project. Joining me today, my co-host. She is a content creator. She's a 5-time marathon runner. She recently finished the Sydney Marathon in under 4 hours. Georgia, how you doing, my darling?
I am well, thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for asking. It is a nighttime episode tonight, so I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. I'm going to bring the energy.
Yeah, guys, we're doing our best. We're recording this at like 7 o'clock at night. It's we're doing our best.
We're committed, we're committed to making sure these episodes land on a Wednesday morning, and there's nothing going to stop us from that happening. And so if we have to rework our schedules, we will. If we have to do it late at night, we will. But today we're going to be talking about our highs and lows. We have some epic listener questions come straight from our inbox on Instagram. And we're also going to be talking about alcohol and running and the effects that it may have on your performance.
Yeah, that was one thing I left out from the intro about what the whole episode was about. So, guys, you can see how we're trending today. But yeah, all things alcohol. We had a lot of questions after the goal setting about sacrifice, and we also, with Christmas coming up, a lot of people wondering how to handle the festive season. So we'll give you guys some tips, some advice, how we do it, and then you guys can get yourself through it.
Yeah, and look, just a disclaimer in this, obviously we are both not, doctors or anything like that. This is not advice on how you should live your life, but this is just from our own personal experience, our experience with our own training, our own relationship with alcohol, and how you guys might want to, look at how you look at alcohol and maybe some changes you want to make in your life or things you don't want to change.
Yeah, I always say it's not a prescription. It's just this is how I handle it.
Yeah, and, that's what the podcast is all about, is our own world experiences and how we deal with things. And so, we both have wildly different perspectives on alcohol, probably a little bit more similar lately, but definitely different. And so, we'll bring that to the table for you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how's your week, Matt?
Yeah, good week. Solid week of training, 6 weeks out from COSI 100. So prepping for that and feeling good. Had a really solid weekend of training. Outside of that, lows. I was actually, the reason we're recording a day late, actually got food poisoning Sunday night. So that wasn't ideal.
Definitely not ideal.
Definitely not ideal. But yeah, got through that. And the only other low is I'm finding it a little bit hard to switch back into athlete mode, which is a little bit interesting. Normally that's not really an issue for me, but for some reason it's just taking a little bit longer. I just feel guilty about not taking extra time to do training and recovery and things rather than working and trying to do stuff for the Performance Project. So it's been a little bit of a up and down sort of thing, but it's coming. And I know it's only for a short period of time before I'm back to full work mode. So yeah, just trying to balance that at the moment.
Yeah, I did notice you put a video up the other day, and you can tell in the video you're a little bit off. And so I was like, I wonder what you're going to say today about, your highs and lows and whether you're going to mention that. Because, it must be really hard to switch from being, a coach and doing the business full time, and then, having to then jump back in and think about yourself a little bit. But it's so important that, you don't burn out as well, especially in the early years of a business.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a big difference in terms of what we're doing, Georgia, with the Performance Project. We didn't just build a business for up an income. We're trying to build Australia's biggest endurance community. We want to impact as many people as possible, whether that's with our coaching, with the podcast, with the content we put out. So it's a very, very different format than just if we had a coaching business. And it's just a whole different level of thought and detail that needs to be considered, and workload and a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, it's just it's the first time I've gone through it. So my previous events, it was just a coaching business where I had built it to basically supplement my athletic career. It was like, that was the goal. I was like, I wanted to coach people. And then when I was training for a race, I could be fully focused on that. And obviously it has
Yeah.
grown and developed from there. And you and I have gone all in on this. So it's the first time I'm having to manage trying to grow a business and be an athlete. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it would be really hard. You have a significantly higher workload than me.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you do it sometimes. So, hats off to you. But we had some epic athletes this weekend, kind of like the one just gone, doing Melbourne and Perth. I think that was
Melbourne, Perth, Oxford, and we had an
Oxford, yeah.
ultramarathon runner.
Yeah, so everyone was getting some awesome PBs, which was super cool to see. So everyone, getting around each other in the group chat. So that was nice.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's so much stuff going on. It's hard to keep track of it. But yeah, it's everything's crushing.
Good. I'm glad.
How about you, Georgia? Highs and lows?
Highs and lows. I'm going to start with my low this week. I went for my long-ish run on Sunday, but it is so strange to go from running marathons or running 30K every Sunday to then doing 16K and the 16K feeling like pure hell. So it was just tough. It felt really hot in Sydney on Sunday. It was probably 23 or something. We tried to head out early, but the temperature was just the same. So I really struggled. I felt like I had to stop at every single water station because I forgot to pack my little hand flask. So I was a bit annoyed about that. Just really struggled to not feel like I was going to pass out just because it was really hot. And I know I'm a bit dramatic when I say that, but I get quite dizzy. And so I'm very wary of, not pushing myself too much. But yeah, it was a bit of a tough session, but that's okay. But yeah, my highs for the week, I swam at the pool again yesterday, which was really nice. I still had that funny reaction to the water, so I think there's definitely something with chlorine, but it's just so convenient that I kind of am happy to deal with it. One of my friends, Justine, she bought a beautiful cake, so I got to do my laps and eat cake, which is always really good. I managed to do 155 per 100 meters, a minute 55, sorry. And so that improved a lot from the week before, which was 220. So seeing improvements, which is fun when you're trying something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Swimming's one of those things, the more you do it, the better you get.
Yes, for sure. And I also picked up a bike that I got on Facebook Marketplace. I know, very happy about that. Look, it is a kick around bike. Like there's nothing special about this thing, but it was like $300. So I was like, I don't want to go all in and then hate it and then be like, I'm stuck with this really expensive bike. So
mate, you'll never be stuck with a bike. You talk about a good investment. Honestly, bike resale, it's like reselling a Toyota. You get like 90% of the wholesale price. It's unreal.
Yeah. So look, I thought I'd just jump in with like a very easy, I know a few people with the same bike. So I was like, look, can't be too bad. I'll go get it serviced or something. But I did that. And I may as well also say that I signed up to the triathlon. So I'm officially doing one.
Yeah, boy, it's happening. It's happening.
It's happening. I know you slowly wore away at me for 38 episodes, now 39, where I finally caved.
Look, we are doing an Ironman.
Honestly, I'm seeing a few of my friends doing it lately. And I'm like, I don't know, I could do a half. Seriously, like what is wrong with me?
Yeah, it's happening. I'm not going to stop.
He's not going to stop, guys. Anyway. So that was my week. Nothing else new besides the fact I did dye my hair, which everyone has been noticing.
Yeah, mate, it's pretty hard to friggin' notice. Like, Jesus Christ.
So
did you add more hair? Is that a thing? Can girls do that?
No, I didn't get extensions. Funny you say that. I had hair taken out. I had my hair thinned out. He took
It looks like it's like
thicker.
A lot. Thicker, that's the word, yeah.
Do you know the funny thing is, right? So I work in the city and I reckon 90% of the people today who commented on my hair were all men. And not in like a, you look amazing kind of way, like in a weird way. Just like in a general... Huh?
Like what?
Just in general, just guys being like, oh, did you change your hair? Like you've changed your hair color. And I'm like, yeah, I have actually. And I had
See,
it, well,
guys don't notice the simple shit. Like if you like get a cut, it's like Sam will get a cut or something. I'll be like, looks the exact fucking same. I won't notice until she'd shave her head, and I'll be like, oh, you did something different, right?
yeah.
I'm like, we noticed nothing until it's completely different.
I know, right? And I've
Yeah.
been slowly going brown for months, like 9 months at least. And someone today
Better
was
than
like,
grey.
yeah, someone today was like, weren't you blonde? I was like, fuck's sake. Anyway, so yeah, I'm now a fully fledged brunette, so no more blonde jokes can come my way.
Well, if you keep swimming in the chlorine, it'll go blonde again. So there's that.
Oh dear. Anyway, hopefully not. I don't want that. It's expensive.
It will.
It will. All right, should we get into it, Matt?
Yeah, man. Let's get on
Yeah.
the soup.
Get a...
Do you not know that saying?
No,
Get
I've
on
never
the
heard that.
soup.
No, never heard that one.
Get on the drink. Like that. Get on the soup means get on the drink.
Oh,
Have a
but
saucy night. No.
get on the soup
On the
for an
soup.
alcohol topic.
Yeah.
Oh dear, gosh, guys, we're losing it a little bit. Okay, cool. So
That's
do you
my
want
normal vocab as well. Like I'll be
I
like,
know you have 1,000,001 sayings. It really cracks me
I can
up.
thank my dad for that.
Oh, I love it. Do you want to should we start by talking about, I don't know, do you want to talk about your relationship with alcohol? I know you spoke about this in our first ever episode where we introduced ourselves. So I thought maybe a really good way to start this is a little bit of backstory on, our own relationship with alcohol and how that has potentially played into our own training and, athlete life.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, I'm a former addict, both drug and alcohol. So I'm pretty much sober now. I would say I'm as close to 100% sober as you can get because I don't even drink in the off season anymore. I used to, like after an Ironman, have a beer or something. I really don't do that anymore. I actually went to a Bucks weekend the other weekend. I had one bourbon and Coke, and I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to drink anymore. So I didn't even finish it. Yeah. So and I couldn't tell you last time I had a beer before that. So I'm pretty much sober.
Yeah. And do you want to just touch on what kind of brought you to that? Obviously, I know you just mentioned that you are a former addict, but was there, like a pivotal time that was like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore? Or was it a slow progress, or what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
In terms of like quitting addiction?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I could take you to the spot right now. I was standing in a kitchen in London and I looked around and there was, for context, people in kitchens in London, drugs and alcohol, very, very common, like bourbon in a coffee mug sort of thing. And I looked around and I saw 3 chefs. I could tell you exactly where they were standing, all overweight. One was going through a divorce, one was a drug addict, and one was drinking bourbon from a coffee cup. And I went, oh, in 10 years, that's me. And like it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I would have been, I don't know, 25, 26, something like that. And just went, nah. And I literally quit my job on the spot, packed up my knives and walked out of the kitchen, booked a flight home, and that was it.
That was the last time you were a chef too.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, got home and just went, it was like, I say I went cold turkey, had a couple of relapses and things during it, but like basically just went cold turkey on the spot and yeah, that was it.
Yeah. It's definitely a very interesting story in like the nicest way possible. So if you guys haven't listened to episode 1, you should definitely go back and listen to the whole story because you can kind of hear about how Matt gets into Ironman and endurance and all that kind of stuff. So it's a cool listen. So definitely do that. But I guess I don't really have a negative, I guess, relationship with alcohol, but I've just never been a big drinker. I remember as a teenager, everyone would go out and get shit-faced and I hated doing it, but I did it because I thought I had to. And just like most other people, you just kind of drink because you feel like everyone around you is, so you do it. But yeah, I
think it's so different in Australia as well. Like it is just part of culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like you grew up in Wagga as well. Like I'm a country boy as well. Like beer is currency out there. Like it's so normal. Yeah.
Oh, I was drinking at like 15, 16.
15, 16. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
House parties, stuff like that, getting people's, drinking and stuff like that, getting other people
Yeah.
to buy it for you and stuff like that. But I guess, that's just what everyone did. So it
Yeah,
was
it's
never,
normal.
yeah, it was never not a normal thing. But yeah, I haven't had any alcohol since we got back from our honeymoon. I just realized how much it really affected my training and my health and all that kind of stuff while I was away. And similar to you, I had a drink not long ago for my friend's 40th, and I drank half of it and went, you know what? I don't want this, and I don't think I'll ever drink again.
Mm.
So yeah, look, who knows? Maybe one day I will, but at the moment, I'm just like happy to have a Coke Zero.
Yeah, I'm the same, and it's quite odd for me too because I really really enjoy red wine. Like that's
Yeah.
my one little vice that I do have, and I've probably got 10 bottles in our little cellar that I don't know. It's probably a few $1,000s worth of wine, and I'm like, do I give them to friends and family? Like, I don't want to get rid of them, but like, I know if
Yeah.
I open a bottle, I might drink half a glass, and that'll be it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. So I got this weird little conflict with alcohol at the moment. But yeah, I'm the same, like the exact same as you. Like, I don't know if I'll drink again.
Yeah, like we have so much alcohol left from our wedding.
I
It's
bet. Yeah, I bet.
crazy. Like I think we have about 4 cases, which is there's 6 bottles in each case of champagne. And then I've got 2 cases of white, 2 cases of red. And I've got like 3 bottles of tequila. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this because
Mm.
like we just, neither Nick and I drink. So we're like, okay, you get a bottle, you get a bottle.
Yeah.
Like my mum came over for dinner not long ago and I was like, you want some champagne? She had like a glass and was like, okay. But yeah, so I haven't really drunk since our honeymoon in May, and I was actually laying by the pool in Bali and I was going through all the stats on my Garmin, which I know we obviously take with a grain of salt. But it was so interesting looking at the only difference. I mean, I was resting, I was traveling obviously a little bit, but I was laying on a beach most days or just cruising and stuff, but I was drinking every day and my
Yep.
stats were horrendous. Like
Hmm.
sleep score was constantly below 60. My HRV was in the red the entire time we were away. And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy because the only real difference was the alcohol.
Yeah, I can't. I'm going to butcher this study. Matthew Walker put out a study about it, and I think he said it might be 2 standard drinks or 3 standard drinks. A small amount of standard drinks is the equivalent of like 3 days of sleep deprivation, like getting 4 hours or less.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I know anytime I've ever drunk, you always have the worst night's sleep. And I don't know, just lately I'm just like, I just can't be bothered with a hangover. It's such a waste of time.
Yeah. I honestly, one of the people who have listened to this podcast enough know like I'm pretty logical when I when I think about things. So I can't think of a single upside to alcohol emotionally or logically. Like it's a way like I am less productive, which I don't like. I don't sleep well, which I don't like. I don't train well, which I don't like. I'm in a worse mood, which I don't like. Like I there is not a single upside. Like I can have just as much fun and
Yeah.
not drinking because like if I'm being fair dinkum, having 1 or 2 beers isn't like my mood or my I don't get like liquid courage or anything, from having those 2 beers.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go and drink 30 beers. So I'm just like, what is the upside? And I just honestly can't find one.
Yeah, neither. And, I think when you're, signing up for races and stuff, and like we spoke about last week and the week before with your goals and setting out goals and stuff like that, when you're signing up for races, you're kind of like, if I'm going to put all of this effort into this race, I'm going to, like I did with my sub 4, I'm going to give it absolutely everything. I want to do anything I can to not affect that.
Mm.
And for me, that was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to drink because it's going to affect my sleep. And I already don't get enough of that. So, if there's one thing I can do that can really help me, that's what I've found has been really helpful is just cutting out alcohol. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you could have less. I mean, I guess that would be the same kind of thing, or not drink before long runs and stuff like that. But I don't want to say what to do.
Yeah. I mean, like I said at the start, like this isn't a prescription. This is just like what Georgia and I do. And then obviously, like we've probably done a bit of research into that there is some science backing up what we are saying. When not just making it up. But in terms of what you just said, Georgia, like I just think about what are things I can sacrifice that don't actually affect the way I live my life. So like
Yeah.
cutting alcohol out, if you're ranking that on a scale, it's not like if you cut out alcohol, you can't go out to dinner with your friends. So
Yeah.
like, okay, like that's an easy sacrifice, and there is an actual performance benefit and a recovery benefit. So I'm like, okay, great. Like, let's just cut out alcohol. That doesn't actually seem like a sacrifice to me. It seems like a logical choice.
Mm. Yeah. I think, just if you sit down and really look at maybe, I don't know, keeping a diary and stuff of if drinking is a big part of your life, maybe taking down notes on, when you drink, what you drink, and how it affects you the next couple of days afterwards. How is it affecting your training? Did you still hit your times after, if you had a couple of glasses of wine for dinner or you went out on a big night? Obviously, it is going to affect you, but how is it affecting you? And then you could kind of weigh up your options and be like, okay, is it affecting me enough that I feel like I want to cut this out, or do I just cut back on it? Because, completely cutting it out might not be an option for some people.
Um, yeah, like I don't. I'm trying to think of like how many options there are, or how many scenarios there are where like cutting out alcohol for a short period of time, like a training block, like that 8 to 12 week period of time, isn't just on the cards. Like I can't think of many situations. Um, and I'm trying to think of clients as well, athletes who have coached who have been like, no, I absolutely like can't cut out grog. Um, Nothing's like coming to mind. So like I just think like it's a like just are you willing to make the sacrifice? Like I can't work out a way that you could justify it personally.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I'm kind of playing that little bit of a, not devil's advocate, but like,
No, but I know, yeah.
yeah,
There will be people there who just like, I have a glass of red wine with tea every night and that's it. And you're like, okay, like
yeah,
that's your thing, that's your thing. Get it. It's
yeah,
more routine than anything. But like, yeah, I would just say it's like, you just need to be realistic about what you want to do and what you're trying to achieve.
yeah. What are the sacrifices you're willing to make to reach your goals?
Hmm. Exactly. And
Yeah.
then in terms of what you said about tracking in the diary, I know I sort of give Garmin and Whoop a bit of a hard time when it comes to running metrics. I will say like recovery metrics, not they're probably a bit better than their running metrics. Um, if you have a Garmin, a Whoop, Apple Watch, Chorus, whatever, and you track alcohol in it, you will see noticeable changes like 70-80% decrease in recovery. I can't remember if it was the last time I had a drink or might have been the time before. It might have been right after Cairns, and I had one drink
Yeah.
and I put it in, and my recovery went, and I did nothing. Same as you in Bali, did nothing the whole day. Had one drink with dinner, and then came home, went to bed, got like 9 hours sleep or whatever, which never happens, and my recovery was in the red. And I was just like, asked the Whoop coach because it's got like this AI built in. I was like, why is this? And it's like, you had alcohol. It's like, you're lucky it's not lower.
Simple as that.
Yeah, legit. Like,
They're like, you're lucky I even gave you that score, you asshole.
honestly, that's basically what Whoop said. I was like, are you serious, bro?
Yeah. Look, I think when it comes to your goals and when you're, trying to do something big and scary and going out and, racing a race or doing whatever it is you want to do, definitely take a look at alcohol. We're not going to sit here and spit out facts for you about alcohol and how it affects the body because, I know I would be bored listening to that. I'm sure you can do your own research. But yeah, look, in both of our cases, we've both found really positive effects from not drinking. So, give it a go.
Yeah. And I like to challenge people with certain things. And it's like, I would say if you're really struggling, like maybe it's routine, maybe you are that person who has a glass of red wine with dinner every night, just try and do a month sober. Try and do like sober October or whatever. You don't need it to be a rhyming month to achieve that. But
Doesn't need to be July.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be dry July or anything. Just try it and then just monitor how you feel. And I would be surprised if you were number one. I'd be surprised if you are craving it to come back to it. But if you are craving to come back to it, if it's like something you're like you really have a feeling for, like on the serious note, someone who's come from addiction, like there could be some alcohol addiction there. So that's also something to keep in mind. So again, we're not telling you exactly what to do, but it's like these are like legitimate things you can test very, very easily. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could also like talk to, your health professional or
Hmm.
if you talk to a therapist or anything like that, that also could be something as to why it is that you can't give it up.
Hmm.
Um, Also, like if it is that you just want the taste of something, there's such great brands out there at the
Oh, yeah.
moment who do non-alcoholic stuff. I was talking to a client of ours yesterday about this who works with a really, really big non-alcoholic gin company, and they are doing some amazing things at the moment, and you honestly can't really taste the difference when you're mixing it with something else. Take like there's beers and stuff now that are
I drink Great Northern Zero all the time. It's great.
yeah, exactly. There's that there's heaps of amazing brands out there, and we had heaps of it at our wedding because I reckon there was 15 people at our wedding who didn't drink. So
Hmm.
there's that. Yeah, look, there's heaps of options out there now that you can have a look at if you're just wanting the taste of something without the effects of it, which, you know, is always
And from
good.
a social setting. So like I took non-alcohol. So this is a little bit cowardly of me, but when I went to that Bucks weekend, I was
Yeah.
with some rowdy boys like that. They were getting into their work. So I took an esky full of non-alcoholic and just had a stubby holder that covered the label, so no one gave me a hard time about not drinking. Um,
It's interesting you say that that's cowardly though. I guess because you're hiding the truth in,
yeah,
inverted commas. But I I don't think that at all. I feel like if that's what you know these people and you know that them on
I knew the
alcohol,
situation I was in. I was
yeah,
protecting myself because I was like, if we're going
yeah,
to get into this, I'm going to put you all to bed. So,
yeah.
yeah. So I was more protecting myself than anything else. But
I can understand what you mean though, because I've definitely been at work events and stuff like that where I've poured myself like a non-alcoholic sparkling because I'm like, I just don't want to deal with people being like, why aren't you drinking? Have a
yeah,
drink. Like, let's get on
and for a
it. Or,
and for a girl as well, the first question is, are you pregnant?
yeah, honestly, seriously, the minute you get married, the
Oh,
minute
even
you're like,
Sam
oh,
doesn't drink. Sam doesn't really drink either, and they'll be like, she'll drink Coke, no sugar. I'm like, are you pregnant? It's like,
yeah, every single time. And I'm like, God
yeah,
help me if I was struggling with fertility. All these people are
mm,
constantly like, I reckon the minute we got married, people were like, so when are you having a baby?
yeah,
And then I'd be like, oh, I'm not drinking. Sorry, can I have a Coke? And like, oh, are you pregnant? And I'm like,
hmm,
no, I'm not. I just don't drink.
yeah,
So I always use the marathon as not my excuse because I don't really need to explain it to anyone anymore. But at the time, I'd be like, oh no, I'm training for a marathon. And they're like, oh, okay, makes sense. I'm like,
yeah.
why do we need this big thing?
Yeah, I hate justifying things, but it
Oh,
is a
anyway,
part of culture as well.
definitely. It is definitely part of the culture here. And I think people like other people to drink because they want to drink and they want to feel better about drinking. So
Yeah.
there's that as well. But yeah, look, lots of things to think about when it comes to alcohol and training
Hmm.
and all of those sorts of things. Anything else you want to add to that, Matt?
I'm actually looking through like Georgia was kind enough to put a whole bunch of notes together for this episode, which we don't normally do. But I'm just making sure that if there's any key things. So we talked about that. Oh,
Oh, tick.
oh no, yeah, no, I'm making sure because like you actually did a lot of work for this, George, and some of these
Thank
things are
you.
really good. I would say just from the recovery perspective, like it actually does affect glycogen
Yeah.
absorption. So for everyone who doesn't remember, glycogen, carbohydrates. So if you are carb loading, for example, then you have a drink before, like say the night before your race or 2 nights before your race, you're actually not going to absorb as many of those carbohydrates. If you have a drink the night before and then you have a gel or your breakfast before your run, you're not going to absorb it as well. So definitely, like if you are training for something and you're around, try and limit alcohol around your running as much as possible by like 48 hours. And I know if you're training for a bigger event like a marathon, that basically naturally rules it out altogether because you're probably running every day or every other day.
Yeah.
But I I promise you it's worth it. Small sacrifice for a big return. So that would be it from me on the alcohol perspective. I just hope people don't do things just because we say it. They do things because they want to see an improvement. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
the
important.
glycogen was super interesting to me because I was like, oh, that makes so much sense when I was kind of doing some research and I was like, that's so interesting because, if you had, say, if you're just doing your regular long run on a Sunday and you go out with your friends on a Saturday night, it's not going to be an enjoyable long run. Besides the fact that one, you're hungover, but two, you're then not absorbing like your breakfast, like you said, or your gels. So, yeah, definitely lots of things to actually dive into. And when you actually get into, the research behind it, there's heaps of books, heaps of podcasts and stuff that you can listen to about, our relationship with alcohol. So, something to definitely look at. One thing I
Definitely
did.
listen to the Andrew Huberman. If anyone's sort of a nerd on human performance, they'd know his podcast. He does a couple of great ones with Matthew Walker on alcohol and sleep and recovery. That will, if that doesn't stop you, I don't say stop you like it's a bad thing, but if that doesn't make you question when you should and should not be drinking, nothing will. So really, like, I couldn't recommend them enough.
Perfect. I think, if you're coming into, as we all are, coming into Christmas season where there's bound to be lots of alcohol, and if you've chosen to
Hmm.
not drink, you could just do what Matt did when he was on the Bucks weekend, or what I do at my work functions and stuff, is choose a non-alcoholic option. And if you feel like you're going to get pressure from other people, just chuck a stubby holder around it. Or, I have definitely been to the bar before and said to the guy, I don't drink. Can you please make this look like a gin and tonic? And they will happily do it.
Yeah, yeah,
They do not care at all. They're like, yeah, sure. And they put like lime in it. They make sure it's in a short glass. And no one has ever said anything to me. Or I'll get a Red Bull. And then if anyone asks, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a Red Bull vodka.
yeah.
So there's definitely ways, like, especially if you're coming into Christmas, do the stubby holder thing, get some non-alcoholic sparkling. I mean, pregnant women have been doing it forever, hiding the fact that they're not drinking. So I'm sure we can all do it. But yeah, just change, a few things so that, if you are going to find it's going to be hard around certain people in your family, friends, stuff like that, there's definitely ways you can get around it.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. Like, I come from a family of drinkers and things like that. If you feel like you're going to get that pushback and you feel like there's going to be that friction, don't be afraid. I know I use the word cowardly, but don't be afraid to to cover it up, just to ease into it. Um, but I think you'll find that if you have like a legitimate reason, whether it's like, hey, no, I'm just not drinking anymore, I'm being healthy, or I'm training for an event, or I just don't want to drink anymore, like whatever it might be. If you're just firm with your belief and you're able to say that straight down the barrel to them, I'd say 99% of situations they're going to be like, yeah, okay, no worries.
Yeah, yeah. And, besides family, obviously we can't choose our family, but if your friends are giving you pressure and stuff like that and they still can't understand once you give them a reason, then maybe they're not the kind of people you should be hanging around, because you need to
Yeah,
surround yourself with people who want you to do your best and to
support your
achieve your
goals.
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, let's get into some listener questions. We had quite a
Hmm.
few this week, so I'm just going to pick some of my favorite ones so that we still have some more for next week as
Hmm.
well. We will also do another listener question episode soon where we just ask all of your questions for you because we get so many. But the first question is from Tim. How much would a training program differ for someone who just wants to finish a marathon compared to someone who has a goal time? So, for example, for myself, just wanting to finish a marathon versus me wanting to do a sub 4.
Yeah. So obviously it depends on the. I would say first of all you got to define like what performance goal they want. So like the difference between say sub 4 and sub 3 is astronomical, and then the difference between sub 5 and I would say anyone who's sort of running a +5 hour marathon will put them in the. Just need to focus on finishing and finishing feeling good. Anything under 5, you probably start putting in some structure. Um, Honestly, it just comes down to total training volume, so the amount of kilometers per week. That'll probably Georgia probably maxed out, getting close to it. Did you hit 100 this prep?
No, 90 something,
90
not
something.
quite 100.
Yeah, so I'd say like a max week, peak week between 90 and 100 Ks, maybe slightly over. And then for someone who was not just, if someone who was training to finish a marathon, it's probably going to be around the 60, maybe 70 as a peak week. So,
Mm.
probably a 30% difference there, give or take. Then we start looking at things like training intensity. So when you're training for a certain time, you have to spend a lot of time training at that pace, at that effort, at that heart rate. So the intensity is quite high, where if you're training to finish a marathon, it's really just aerobically focused and it's just time on feet. So there are some pretty significant differences. I would just say that the biggest ones are total training volume and intensity.
Yeah. I remember from my first training block when I was reading off the PDF that was on my fridge. um, I remember even the biggest difference was my long runs. So instead of it just being like the first training block, it was always just go and do 26 kilometers. And so I'd just go out and just try my best to get through the kilometers. Whereas now a lot of my training is like, okay, it's 26 kilometers, but there's a 3K warm up. There's, two blocks of 10 Ks. There's a little bit of a rest. There's a cool down in that block. There's, make sure I'm doing it at above race pace. I'm checking on my heart rate. Like, there's so much more stuff I have to think about, as opposed to the first time round where I had no goal in mind. I just wanted to finish. The whole point was just for me to just get through every run. And that was a big difference for me between a goal and also just getting through it.
Yeah. And I mean, I would say like the structure, I would still structure workouts based on whether you were going for a time, whether you're not. Just so like you say your PDF, I'd say is like a very, very basic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very basic, my friends.
Very basic, right? So, but even if you were just training to finish it in 5 hours, 6 hours, just whatever time you just wanted to get from point A to point B, like we would still structure sessions because that's more mentally stimulating for the athlete too, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable. Like if you're just like, hey, 26 kilometers, one pace, one heart rate, you're just like, fucking kill me. But if it's like, hey, we got 3Ks of this, 8Ks of that, 2K easy in between, then we're going into 10Ks, and you're like, it's always something, and you just like keeps you mentally switched on. So that's another thing to keep in mind too.
Yeah, definitely much more stimulating than the 26Ks or 30Ks that I had to do that first time. Right?
I'd say probably that's the only other thing too is when you're training for a time, you spend a lot more time. Your longer runs are a lot longer, and you do a lot more of them. So Georgia probably spent 5, maybe 6 weeks, 30Ks and up for a long run. Whereas like say for someone who's training for their first marathon, it'd be like 28, 30, 32, maybe 34, and then they're out. Where like Georgia was like 30, 30, 33, 35, 36. So
it was quite a few. It's at least over, I think it was about 6 weeks where I was running over 30Ks every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's another big one. It's just getting used to running that distance, getting accustomed to living in that hurt locker.
Do you think that another difference would be like speed workouts, that there's more of those, like more tempo sessions, or are most training blocks doing that kind of thing?
Most training blocks should do that, but like I said at the start, like that intensity. So it's like the duration that you're spending at either threshold or marathon pace, and the frequency that we do it at. So for your block, it was very much one easy run, one threshold session, one tempo session, and then your long run was started easy, like for the first X amount of weeks of the block, and then went to easy plus tempo, then went into pure tempo. So that's a lot of intensity. So
yeah, it definitely changes the program. So hopefully that has helped you, Tim. Okay, amazing. Marie has asked how to deal with wanting to stop during a run. I struggled to get through 5 kilometers without wanting to stop all the time.
Run slower.
Need a sound bite of that.
Easy running, guys. If you are running so fast that you have to stop and you're just like out of breath and you're just like, this is too hard, just run slow. I don't care if that is 11 minutes per kilometer. I don't give a fuck. Just like your body is telling you that you cannot run at the pace you are currently running at. So just run easier. And I know I said this in the previous podcast, but I'm trying not to say run slower anymore. I'm trying to say run easier. So run easier.
Run easier. Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of it comes down to your mind, the mind games that you play with yourself as well. It is very much mindset when you're out on a run. Just try and push yourself a little bit every week. As Matt said, run easier, but also go, okay, last time I could only do 1 kilometer without stopping. Okay, today I'm going to try and do a little bit further than that. And then each time, that's the way I did it myself personally, was I just pushed myself to run a little bit further every single time without stopping.
I think that's how we all start. I think that's how we all start to do our first 5, 8, 10Ks,
Yeah,
whatever it
for
might be.
sure.
Yeah. And we try and
Yeah.
set a PB every single time we go out and run.
It's great when you first start out because you're just getting PBs left, right,
Every
and center.
session. It's unreal.
Yes. I just think it's important that, you obviously just try and mentally push yourself a little bit too. Because look, on the weekend, I was stopping because I needed the water. But look, some of it was mental. I was like, it's hot. I need to stop. I don't feel good. Blah, 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 blah. But if you just go, okay, I can actually just keep going a little bit further, you'll be surprised how much further you can go. And
It's the 40% rule.
yeah, what's that?
So whenever you think you're about to quit, whenever you think I've got nothing left, you're only really about 40%.
Oh, there you go.
So you still got 60% left in the tank.
Yeah, look, there was plenty of times during the marathon where I was like, I could stop right now and just walk a little bit and I'll feel so much better. But actually half the time you just feel worse stopping and walking. So yeah, just push through it mentally a little bit as much as you can. If you need to stop though, also don't beat yourself up that you need to stop, because it's not all about just completely running nonstop and never stopping. I literally did a video on this yesterday, I think, being like, you can actually stop if you need to. Like if you need to get water, or like go to the bathroom or do that, sure, you need to stop. That's so fine. But if you're just stopping because you're like, I'm absolutely wrecked, then yeah, run easier.
Yeah, run easy. And also just have a look at like your training. Like if you're just going out once a week and trying to run 5Ks as hard as you can, maybe think about doing a couple of 2K runs or 1K runs during the week, and then be like, okay, then I'm going to do 3 or 4Ks on the Sunday, and then slowly build that up over a period of time. That's probably like a more practical way of doing it. If you, every time you go out and run, you just try and run 5Ks, maybe break it up, I'm going to do 3Ks hard, and then I'm going to do 5Ks easy, and then just sort of play around with a few different things and see how you go. But sometimes a different stimulus too can help get through some plateaus.
Yeah. And even like we always talk about like time training instead of looking at the distance. Maybe instead of being like, I have to run this 5 kilometers, just like, okay, well, I'm going to try and run 20 minutes without stopping, or 5 minutes or 10
That's
minutes,
a great
whatever
point.
whatever the number is, like just push yourself for a time instead. Like I always remember one of my goals is like, I just want to be able to run 5K in 30 minutes. Like that was one goal I really wanted to do once. So, pushing for the time is also a great way. And yeah, constantly get PBs, which is great.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't believe I didn't say that. That's a proud coaching moment, Georgia. Is time-based running. So don't look at distance to be like, I'm going to run. You could break it up into 6 5-minute blocks. You could break it up into 3 10-minute blocks and just try and run for half an hour. And then next time I'm going to run for 35 minutes, and the next time 40 minutes. And then you don't actually care about the distance. The distance will just come over time.
Yeah, definitely. Which actually jumps us into the next question from Tyler, which says, time-based training or distance-based training, what do you prefer?
It depends what I am trying to achieve. So,
what do you prefer?
Yeah. So, if you're just starting out, like we just spoke about, time-based running is the best. Like, honestly, distance doesn't matter, pace doesn't matter. It's just like time on feet. Like we are just learning about time on feet. Now, if you are training for a very specific goal, like, hey, I want to run a half marathon, it's like, okay, like we probably need to dial in the 21.1 kilometers. So we probably need to do some pace. Same for the marathon, same for 100K. Actually, when you start getting to the 100K, it's kind of 50-50 distance, time on feet, but that's a different conversation. I would say mostly for beginners and off season, time is just what we care about. 60 minutes easy, 90 minutes easy, 30 minutes easy, 2 by 10 minutes, whatever it is. Time-based training is great. When you start getting specific for a training block, that's when we start bringing in distances and, 3 by 10K or 6 by 1K at threshold, under overs at threshold, marathon pace, whatever it might be.
Yeah. And I love, some of the sessions you give me, Matt, are just like go out for an hour because, depending on the day, like an hour could be so many different things. An hour
could be 8K, it could be 12.
Yeah. For sure. And I remember when we first started the podcast, you talked about this, about how, my hour run could be completely different to another person's hour run. And so you can't necessarily, especially say, for example, if you are doing a marathon and, you know, you're planning to complete it in, say, 6.5 hours, doing a 3 hour long run probably isn't really applicable to that person, is it? Like they would need to run a little bit further, a little bit longer, otherwise they're not going to be running as far.
Yeah, it gets tricky when it gets out to that long. Um, just because like with what we spoke about, I think it was last week when we spoke about the 140-kilometer long run question.
Yeah,
It comes to total recoverable volume. So chances are, if someone's running 6.5 hours, they're probably in their first one or two marathons, maybe three. If you put them out on like a 5 hour long run, they might be buckled for 4 days afterwards, so they lose that whole week of training. If someone was running that period of time, I would be more inclined about total time on feet over the course of a week. And then
yeah,
I would almost take a very similar approach to what we do in ultramarathon running, is where I'd be pairing Saturday and Sunday up. So I'm like, I want you to accrue 6 hours of total running over 2 days, but that two
yeah,
days has to be 24 hours. So 7 a.m. Saturday morning, go out for your first long run. 7 a.m. Sunday, you go out for your second long run. So like we're trying to
yeah,
get that total running time within 24 hours, which gives a very, very similar stimulus
yeah.
to just doing a single long run.
Okay. So I guess, as you said, just to wrap that up, is like it can be either. You prefer
Yeah.
both. It's hard to pick, right?
Uh, Different tools for different times.
Okay. Let's do one more. I have a question from Emily. It says, what do you think about the Runner app on their marathon plans if you can't afford a coach?
So exciting news. This is actually very serendipitous because Georgia did not know about this. We're actually working on something that is going to be significantly better. That being said, I don't think the Runner app is particularly good for anything over 10 kilometers. I think it's very, very good. I think the introductory level is pretty good and pretty hard to beat for the price and all of that sort of stuff. Unless you use our 0 to 10Ks, which is absolutely free, which you can find on the website. Link in the show notes. Mate, I'm a
It's
plugging
free. Why
machine.
not?
It's
Plug away.
absolutely free. 0 to 10Ks. It is cheaper than Runner, and you get to work with me, so it's unreal. I honestly think 0 to 10Ks for Runner is pretty good. I haven't used it personally. I have looked at it and coached plenty of clients who have come over from Runner to us. I think it's okay. I say anything over that, it gets pretty aggressive with the pacing. I've had a lot of people get injured and then try
Yeah.
and seek some support from it. I would also say if you miss sessions, it's not good at if you miss sessions, or if you feel like you're sort of at your working capacity, like max working capacity, and you need like a deload, it is not great at predicting that or being able to compensate if you miss a session. So let's say you miss a session 1 week, it doesn't go, oh, you missed it, let's make the next week's session a little bit less so we can bring you back up. It just goes to the very next session, which is even harder. So there are definitely some faults in it, which is just their AI learning and whatnot. But I think from 0 to say 10, 12K, just to get you started and running, very, very good. Anything over that, I would really look for a coach.
Yeah, I have noticed a lot of injuries coming from runner athletes, which is a bit scary. Lots of stress fractures and things
Mhm.
like that. Just
The,
because,
Go for it. You keep
sorry.
going. No, you keep going.
Mostly just because like it doesn't know you as a person and like your life, what you do. Like if you're out walking 15,000 steps a day in your job, or, you're exhausted because you've been up all night with a baby and stuff like that, like it's very hard for it to then factor those things in. And so it's just like, go out, run this run, do it this fast. Yeah, sure. You want to do a sub 4 hour marathon. It's not going to sit there and go to you, actually, I probably think maybe you're 2 marathons away from doing a
Yeah,
sub 4 hour marathon.
that's
Or,
a great point.
yeah, like it doesn't take into consider it. Just like, yeah, sure, you want to run that? Let's do it. Like, go for it. You want to go out and do this like hectic session? Go for it. So I have seen lots of people who potentially aren't ready for certain goals that they're putting down. And then they're going and doing the marathon and stuff, and then they're not reaching their goal because they don't have someone there to say to them, actually, maybe let's just take a chill pill for a bit and try something else first.
Yeah. AI is going to be awesome one day, and AI is probably going to put me out of a job one day. But that day is not today. So yeah, there are a lot of things that it's just not ready for, and all of those like personal things. Even if you were able to put those sort of things into Runner or any AI engine, and it it just can't understand that and the effects it has on its life. It's not great at analyzing data, especially it's only sort of keyed into review certain metrics. It doesn't look at anything else. So uh, I hate shitting on other things, but like it's just not good anything past 10Ks. It's too aggressive in terms of kilometers. It's too aggressive in terms of intensity. It doesn't know how to compensate when sessions are missed or you need a deload, and doesn't know how to take real life situations in. If you cannot afford a coach, what I would recommend is obviously we have training programs on the performanceproject.com. You can get them. Links are in the show note. Or you can go to Training Peaks. Training Peaks has a whole library of different training programs from coaches that are actually certified, actually like full-time coaches. They put their stuff out there for you to buy. There's a bunch of free stuff as well, but you could actually get programs from certified coaches. A lot of them offer like free, where you can communicate with the coach once a month or once every 6 weeks, something like that. So there are a whole bunch of different options that would be way more beneficial than trying to rely on AI at this point. I think AI will be really good soon, but it's not now.
Yeah, I think the convenience of Runner where it syncs to your watch, a lot of people don't realize there are a lot of other things out there
So
that
many,
they can
yeah, so
use.
many do that. Yeah,
Yeah, so Training Peaks that Matt talks about is like an awesome app that you can jump on. It syncs to your watch. The programs that Matt offers, they sync to your watch as well. So, you're not missing out in that respect. I also think another thing that people don't really realize is that maybe they're seeing a lot of people using Runner, and whether they are just, your average Joe, or whether that is just like a bunch of influencers who are using Runner. And then you're like, well, if they use them and they got a really good time, then, it must be really good. And I think sometimes if you are being fed information from influencers or people on the internet, just take a look at maybe, okay, how long have they been running for before they started with Runner?
mm.
Could they already do a sub 3 hour marathon before they started with Runner? Was it Runner that got them to the sub 3, or, certain things? And so, you know, there's an amazing female athlete in the UK. She's a big part of Runner, but, she got to where she is now from being, consistent and having a coach and stuff. And now she's part of Runner. And someone might go, oh, she's with Runner, so that's what's got her to be this amazing athlete. And it's like, okay, maybe take a look at the history before you jump in and go, oh, my favorite influencer's using it, so I'm going to use it. Yeah, I think there's just other things to consider as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't, I think Runner is ultimately trying to do good. Obviously, they want people
Yeah.
to do more running. This isn't a shitting on Runner. I just think that's where Runner is limited at the moment. I think they are good to that 10 to 12K. And I say limited based on, I think probably 50, maybe 60% of our running athletes who have come to us in the last year
Mm.
have used Runner.
Yeah. I've used
So,
it. I used it
yeah,
before I knew you, for
yeah.
sure.
So I would say that, and one thing I asked them, and just the answers I get in common are couldn't hit the paces, volume was too high, and I got injured. Like if I had to sum it down to three, and it all came from athletes who were doing half marathon or full marathon. I didn't get any complaints or any negative feedback up to sort of that 10 to 12K mark. So
Yeah.
that's where I am pulling that information from.
Yeah, it's like a bit like the Nike Run Club app and stuff. I used
Exact
that for
same.
a
Yeah.
time. I got injured from it, so I stopped using it. But
Mhm.
it's just knowledge is power. Just make sure you're checking it out, making sure if it's the right fit for you and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
just on the other thing, in terms of can't afford coaching, a lot of coaches will offer consults at a far cheaper rate. So it's like, hey, you get a Zoom call once a month that you pull up your Training Peaks or whatever training platform you use. They review it. They're like, hey, cool, this is everything you've done. Awesome. This is what I would try and hit for the next 4 weeks. And you can do it like that. So you might be able to do that at half the price or a quarter of the price of coaching, but still get 30 minutes, 40 minutes one-on-one with a coach. So that's an option as well.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was just thinking about the whole like Garmin, Nike Run Club and all that kind of stuff. How about all this bloody Garmin and Strava drama? What's happening here?
Honestly,
what are we going to do?
Who cares?
But
Life's too short.
I know, but like, doesn't it mean our workouts aren't going to go to Strava? So then I'm like, how am I going to track everything?
If only we used Training Peaks. Like, if only there wasn't 4,000 other apps in the App Store that you could do it. Like, who gives a fuck? Do you know if it works and Garmin can't sync to Strava, Strava's the one that's fucked. Nothing else.
Yeah. For sure. Like, 50% of people use Garmin.
So many people are like, what about Garmin? Like, they're going to stop selling watches. I'm like, Garmin's not going to stop selling fucking watches. They sell too many.
Nah.
Strava sell advertising. Like, that's their business model. So they are buckled. I can't believe they did it.
Which also then affects Runna, because Runna is part of Strava. So it's very interesting to see how this plays out, because
I want to know who was in the legal team and went, this is the move. Let's sue essentially our biggest partner.
I know. Because they were, what was it? Garmin were taking IP or something? Is that what I read?
It was something like segments, like, IP essentially, but it was like the segments and like heat data or something like that. It was like 2 or 3 like really key bits of data, and they're like, you can't do this. And
oh my God.
I was like, that'd be like Apple suing the company who makes the cameras for the iPhone. You'd be like, what are you doing? Like, we're a team here. Like, we need each other.
We're working together on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's just going to be so interesting to watch it play out, because it's currently the 14th of October and it's meant to all go down on the 1st of November. But I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be fine. Like, they're going to sort this shit out, because
I am so out of the loop of it because I just don't care. But I'm like, I just think it's so stupid.
I'm Devo, because like I subscribed to Strava ages ago because I like sharing the stats.
Yeah, me too.
And also,
if I was Garmin, I'd just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Well, let's just make how Garmin hasn't done this yet. Like, let's just make our thing more Garmin Connect more social media friendly. Even if they just had better graphics for sharing stats. Yeah. So many more people would use it. It's just the fact that they look like shit, and then Strava's done some cool stuff.
And it's such a clunky app to use, the Garmin one. Like, it's so old. So, yeah, look, there's definitely ways around it. And people were like online, they're like, oh, well, if you just take all of the data from, your run and then you upload it into the back end. I was like, no way. Absolutely not.
If it's not automatic, I don't care.
Exactly. Like, Apple doesn't automatically go to Strava. You've got to like manually upload it. And
really, if you have an Apple Watch, you have to.
I'm pretty sure, unless they've fixed it. But even when I was putting in maybe they have fixed it with the latest Ultra and stuff. But my old Apple Watch, you couldn't. You had to manually import every workout. And even then, I completely forgot to do half of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I just would be like, nah. So look, I don't know. I am not doing anything that is anything less than just automatically uploading it.
Yeah. If when I buy it, it doesn't say automatically sync. I'm just like, it's too much work. Don't care.
We're such a lazy generation.
I just don't care enough. Like, okay, fucking the 7 people who follow me on Strava are going to see it. Awesome. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I have like 1,000 people who follow me on Strava. And
I couldn't even tell you how many
bad.
people. I couldn't tell you what people follow my Strava. I always get notification like, this person followed you. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
It's like someone from like Hong Kong. I'm like, why are you following me? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm like, I guess because they want to see more stats and stuff. But
I don't get that. Like, who's sitting there fucking scoping it out? Like, I don't do that, and I'm a data nerd. I never look at Strava.
I do know people who flick through Strava and look at people's activities, and like, I love my friends and I love what they're doing, but I could not give a flying fuck what paces they hit during their run. Like, could not care less.
Run, don't give a fuck at all. Couldn't care less. And the people who take the time to name their workouts in Strava, like, bruh, who cares?
Me.
You don't, do you?
Sometimes it'll be like, I don't know, I'll say like if it was a certain, because there's people following me now, so I'm like, I feel like I should give them something.
Morning run,
sometimes-
evening run, baby. That's it.
Nah. Sometimes I think like Sunday's run, it was like Sunday long run, and then I literally just wrote stopped 10 times more than I should have. Lol. Like that's all I kind of write, but I just make it a little bit spicy, you know, a little bit of something, something.
Nah, I got nothing. Mine's
Are
just
there any-
morning run, evening run. That's it.
Oh, just raw dogging it.
Raw dog. Yep.
Yeah, I even struggle to get on and kudos people. So
I never kudos people.
I'm
ever.
sorry if my friends are listening to this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to change. I can't do this.
The only time I log into Strava is to get the graphic for social media, and then I'm out. Like that's it.
I know. And the best thing is when you're a subscribed person on Strava, you get different graphics to everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm verified on Strava. I'm legit on Strava. Got a little tick and everything. Not
Bloody
verified
hell.
on anything else. Bloody
No.
social media won't give me a blue tick, so.
Again, does that matter at all to anyone? No.
No, probably not. Well, that wraps up episode 39 of Beyond the Finish Line. Make sure you head over to Instagram and follow us at Beyond the Finish Line _pod, and over on your favorite listening platforms, whether that is Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. Make sure you give us a review, like, subscribe, download, tell your friends, share in your Instagram story, do all the things because it is so helpful for us to keep making these episodes for you. Thank you so much for listening.
Hey, Root.
Bye.